When we first decided to start the Brixton Blog as it is now, we had to decide what sort of company or organisation structure we would have. Because it was the easiest thing at the time, and there were two of us, and it was easy to have two directors, we set up as a limited company back in February 2012, and it's very exciting when you get your certificate through the post saying you're incorporated with the Companies House. But also at the same time, we are completely not-for-profit. And so we're looking as well at the moment at the options. We're not sure about, I don't think we're going to go down the cooperative road, but a community interest company would kind of suit our structure. What would have most helped us when we started out would be a big check, I'd say. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen, and probably isn't for most of the people doing this course. So I'd say some really simple advice on how to get started, on the technology to get started. There was always the passion there was always the news, there was always people willing to contribute, but it's how do we actually make enough money to cover our costs, to pay us to do it for the amount of time that it takes to do, which is late nights and early mornings. So without doubt, that's been the biggest challenge and remains the biggest challenge. We've been helped on the way by some funding from the Journalism Foundation, as it was, is no more, from the Carnegie Trust as well, as part of one of their funding schemes. I'd love to say we're making lots of profit at the moment, but we're not. But short answer, I think the Brixton Blog and the Bugle will be sustainable, hopefully sooner rather than later. At the moment, we obviously cover our costs in terms of paying the printing. We pay me as an editor for some of my time. We pay an ad sales person 3 days a week, and obviously all other expenses. But we're looking to build it up and make it more sustainable. Because if it's not sustainable, it won't be able to carry on as it is now. In November last year, we found a guy called Tooth who now sells ads for us and gets a basic salary and is on commission on top. But he's very dynamic, he's really good, he's got really good connections locally, and actually having someone who does the ad sales totally separate from us without us having to sort of guide him and watch over him all the time has made a massive difference. My advice to anyone wanting to become a community journalist or have their own kind of hyper-local or super-local website would be to go for it. It's really, really easy. The technology now with WordPress and various other platforms make it so easy. My second piece of advice is once it's going and going well, if you want to make it more sustainable, is get someone else, especially if you're a writer or editorial or remotely like me, get someone else to sell the adverts, even if it's just purely on a commission basis, but get them to. And don't underestimate the power of your content, and don't underestimate the value of your content. When it was first suggested that we should be selling a display ad an MPU ad on the website for 100 quid a week, I laughed and said, "Are you joking?" And then the week later we'd sold not only that spot but 2 spots at that much. So I wouldn't underestimate the value, and don't be afraid to ask for money. We recently installed a donate button on the website where you could click, and it's quite prominent, so it said if you enjoy reading this, click donate, and the response was was really surprising. And we had people emailing saying, "Why have you not done this before? You know, we've been wanting to support you for ages, but you didn't make it very easy." So once we did that, we actually had quite a lot of money coming in.